if there is anyone currently on any professional promotion roster, and I'm talking about WWE, both Raw and SmackDown, NXT as well, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor Wrestling, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, if there's anybody who is extremely over with the fans, both at home and in the audience itself, in the arena itself, but can also garner heel heat like they owe it to him. We're talking about one man, and that one man currently is the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, I'm talking about Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Because every time he goes out on TV, every time he shows up on your television screen, you pay attention. As a matter of fact, I've witnessed this now a couple of times during Dynamite Live. MJF has been a heel pretty much since he debuted for the company, pretty much since he made an introduction to every single fan out there. Even as a part of the Cody Rhodes family, back when he first started in AEW, he was still a heel, he was still hated. Nobody really understood why Cody Rhodes liked him. And back then, that was the main storyline. But at this point today, whenever his music hits in an arena during an AEW event, the fans go nuts. They go crazy. They cheer for him. They cheer for the music. They want to hear that music. And to be honest, I want to hear that music too, because it's a very particular, very catchy theme, which I'm not going to try and mimic for you right now, unfortunately, because I don't want to embarrass myself. But frankly, that thing hits and fans go crazy. And the reason for that, I believe, is that you know that once that music hits, you're about to get something entertaining. You're about to get something that you can't miss, whether it be in-ring wise or, more specifically, on the stick, on the microphone. This guy, MJF, is severely over. And he can handle the microphone. He can do a promo like no one else. And that's exactly how he gets his heel heat from. Because once the fans are already excited to see him and hear his music, the first thing he does is put down the crowd or put down the fan favorite that is in the ring at that moment. And I think that MJF has been able to get to that point because he just loves the business. He loves what he does. He's proven that over the past 3 years in AEW. Now, we're pretty close to February 8th, which is the deadline that MJF has given Bryan Danielson in terms of the matches he needs to win. He needs to win every single match, just like with a lot of feuds or rivalries that MJF has had in the past. He's making the babyface go through hoops to try to get to MJF. And this time, it's more than validated with the fact that MJF is your current AEW World Champion. So we are now looking towards March 5th, I believe, where we will have Revolution. And Bryan Danielson has thrown out the stipulation that if he is able to run the gauntlet each and every single week for MJF until February 8th, then and only then will he get a championship match against MJF at Revolution for the World Championship. But it will not be any regular match. It will be a 60-minute Iron Man match against the American Dragon, against Bryan Danielson, which of course puts MJF against the ropes, against the wall, right? Or does it? Because there's an argument going online, and it has been for years, that MJF can't wrestle. That MJF is not the most technically versed. And MJF, if you put him up against a CM Punk or a Bryan Danielson or a Wheeler Yuta or a Claudio Castagnoli or a Danny Garcia, if you put him up against a pure technical wrestler, MJF will not choke because he can wrestle. Obviously, he's proven that in the past, but his weaknesses in ring-wise will show up. The fans will be able to witness that firsthand. And so there are a lot of fans out there, a lot of MJF fans that do not want to see this match go down, even though it's bound to happen. There's no way this match, the 60-minute Iron Man match, will not take place. But my biggest concern is what's going to happen at Revolution on March 5th when the match actually does happen. And MJF beats Bryan Danielson and retains his World Championship, because I firmly believe MJF will be champion until the bidding war of 2024. Mostly because it benefits storyline-wise. Mostly because it benefits MJF as a character. And as a champion, you establish him as the true face of you. And the face going forward for years to come for All Elite Wrestling. But what happens when MJF retains the championship, and in the midst of all this concern about his match with Bryan Danielson, I believe that he's going to prove everyone wrong and show the world that he can, in fact, wrestle to the best of his ability, to the best of their ability, and go one-on-one, go toe-to-toe, face-to-face, lock-to-lock with the best of them. One of them being Bryan Danielson. And therein lies the masterpiece that Tony Khan is currently setting MJF up for. Because everyone knows, like I said at the beginning of this video, MJF can handle the stick. He's a promo guy. He knows exactly how to get under the man's skin and under his opponent's skin. But at Revolution, the argument that MJF can't wrestle, the argument that MJF isn't one of the technical wrestlers in the world, I think that will be put to rest. And I think that's Tony Khan's main concern as of this moment. So for that, I'm giving the props to Tony Khan for putting him on this road. And honestly, my only concern with the 60-minute Iron Man match is that if it were up to me, there would only be one fall in the match. And that one fall is MJF pinning Bryan Danielson to the mat, winning the match 1-0, because, like I said, I want MJF to show the fans, and also that he's not prone to losing. And the main issue with Iron Man matches is that they normally go 4-3 or 5-4, and you basically have your champion or your challenger who you're trying to support, who you're trying to build up, lose a few times during the match, which I'm not a fan of. But ultimately, I think Tony Khan, AEW, is putting MJF, current world champion, on the right track, setting him up for success and setting him up to tell the best story possible in this 60-minute Iron Man match. And the best guy to carry him, not carry him, obviously, because MJF can wrestle, the best partner in this match, in this type of match, is, without a shadow of a doubt, the current American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. But that is just one man's thought on this particular match, on this particular rivalry. You might have a different thought. You might think, well, Bryan Danielson will sweep MJF at Revolution. And that could happen. Who knows? But at the end of it all, this is all open for discussion. And we'll just have to wait and see until Revolution. We still have almost 2 months to go until the pay-per-view event. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. Thank you for watching. If you have a different opinion on whether how this match goes down or not, or do you agree with it or not, do you agree with my opinion or not, leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions on the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.